Hey guys, it's Claudia, and today I'm going to talk about how to decide if you're going to move out of your parents' house, especially when you live in a Mexican Hispanic household and you actually like living with your family. I'm 24 years old. It is currently March, and I decided that I'm going to move out June 1st. I'm actually moving in with my boyfriend, so this was actually, a lot to kind of take in and consider. I was looking for videos like this when I was trying to make my decision and I couldn't find any, so I'm hoping that this can be helpful to somebody. I'm gonna walk you kind of through my thinking process in all of this because it was a very hard decision to make and there was a lot of emotional turmoil. I mean, I was crying, I just couldn't, and it wasn't that I didn't want to move in with my boyfriend, it wasn't that at all. I think it was just I couldn't make this decision because I wanted to do both, but I wanted to live with my boyfriend and I also wanted to live with my family. I literally just couldn't make up my mind. And I think one of the hardest things about it is kind of once you're moving out, you're kind of letting that childhood go. And that was a really hard concept for me to grasp because I'm very close with my family. I'm very close with my dad and my mom, and then I have 3 younger sisters. And so it's that's a really hard for me to kind of move on from, even though I'm moving 10-15 minutes away. It's not like I'm abandoning them, but that's how it felt. Especially because I'm 24 and I'm pretty far apart from all of my other siblings. My closest in age, she's 18, so we're 6 years apart, and then the youngest, we're 16 years apart. She's 8. And so I'm very attached to them, and they're going through their childhood and all this stuff, so it feels very hard. And on top of that, it's not like my parents were kicking me out. I feel like in the US, there's this huge culture that once you're 18, you move out, or your parents kick you out. But with Mexican parents, with Hispanic parents, they're not kicking you out. In fact, they're encouraging you to stay. So it's this very, very hard thing. And then also grappling with the fact that, you're their support system, you're helping out your family, and it's what are they gonna do without you? So let's take it a couple steps back. One of my emotions was oh, I helped my family. What are they gonna do without me? How am I not going to be there to support them? And I think that, the first step in me kind of thinking about this as a whole is that I'm not gonna stop helping my family. And how am I going to best serve my family? So right now, for example, I work a ton of jobs. I'm just in this cycle of working tons of jobs. I have my full-time job, I have a part-time job, I dog sit, I babysit. I've worked at food trucks. I do so much that in order to help my family, that it has limited me in being able to advance and to achieve my goals. So I think the first question that you need to ask yourself is moving out going to help me pursue my goals? And is this going to be something that really pushes me and makes an impact in my life in a positive way? And you know the answer to that. And I know that you may be thinking I don't know. You do. I mean, if you are in this cycle of the same thing over and over again, then you know that changing your environment and changing what you're doing is necessary in order to move forward. It just is. And so I was kind of caught in this cycle, and I was well, I can't work away my success. No matter how many part-time jobs I worked, I was never going to be able to bring my family to the next level unless I made a change, because clearly that wasn't working. I'd been doing that for years. I graduated college and, I'm here working my full-time job and then part-time jobs, and nothing is changing. Now, if being in this place is limiting you from becoming the version of you that you need to be in order to achieve your goals, you need to think about that as a pro to moving out. With the whole abandoning my childhood aspect of it, that was a very hard that was a very emotional process for me, because I went to the University of Wisconsin, but I actually didn't move out once I turned 18 because I started school in the year of COVID. And so it just didn't make sense financially for me to be sitting in a dorm with literally nothing to do. And so I didn't move out. And it just kind of kept happening that I just never moved out. I moved out for a semester, but I was working so much, just night and day, going to school, blah, 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 that I literally barely even lived at the place that I was living at. At one point, I thought that I had made up my mind, and I was like, you know what? I'm not ready. I'm not ready. I'm feeling all of these emotions. I'm not ready. And then I had to ask myself, like, am I not ready, or do I just feel uncomfortable? And the truth of it all was that I just felt uncomfortable. I'm absolutely ready. I'm 24. I'm ready to take a next step. I'm ready to build out my career, my life. And that doesn't mean that like my family isn't going to be involved. They're going to be just as involved, if not more, because hopefully this will then mean that I don't have to work all of these jobs. I'll actually be able to advance in my career. I'll be able to invest in myself and invest in my career and my future in order to help them in the way that I really, really want to help them. My goal within the next couple of years, is to have a really high paying job, to go to law school and like really pursue my dreams so that I can help them in the way that I want. Right now it feels like I'm helping them, but if anything, I'm just prolonging this existence of the cycle that I've had for the past few years, which is just slaving my life away and, helping in a very minimal way. Not in a minimal way, like I work my ass off and they work their ass off and I'm helping, but it's like I know that I could be doing more, and therefore I need to make an uncomfortable decision that I know is ultimately going to lead to a more prosperous future. I know it's really scary, and also bringing it up to my parents was really scary. I thought that they were going to react really poorly. They didn't. They were like, it's your choice. But I know that there's people whose parents are maybe not going to have that great of a reaction. I mean, I was hoping to have a reaction that was more like, oh, like, that's so exciting, and I didn't get that, and that's okay. I wasn't expecting it. I hoped for it, but I didn't expect it. And I think, a lot of what was holding me back was I was searching for this validation, and I was searching for an answer. I was hoping that I could ask my parents and that they would tell me what to do. And they were like, it's your choice. It's up to you. And that was really hard because I just wanted somebody to tell me what choice to make. And that's not the reality of it, right? Like, I'm 24 years old. Nobody's going to make decisions for me. Nobody's going to tell me what to do anymore. Like, I need to make these decisions for myself. And I was talking to one of my best friends, and, she was like, I think you know what you want to do deep down. I think you just need to say it out loud. And it was really, really hard for me to say it out loud because I did want to move out, and that is ultimately what I decided to do. But it was really hard to kind of come to terms with it, of like, okay, I'm leaving, life as I know it behind, and I'm starting this whole new chapter, and it is so uncomfortable, and change makes me very uncomfortable. But I can't grow without any change. And I kind of even think about it in terms of the gym. It's like, if the workout's super easy, like, I'm not going to see any difference. Like, I got to put in the work. I got to put in the change. I got to be a little bit uncomfortable in order to see a difference. I think the biggest thing that you need to remember is that it's your decision, it's your life. And if you think that that is what's best for you, then that is what's best for you. And now that I've finally made my decision, like, I'm so excited that I'm gonna have a new apartment, that I'm gonna live with my boyfriend, that I'm gonna be able to, like, make the space my own. But before that, it was like I had a pit in my stomach. Like, it was so hard to be excited and to be happy because I just couldn't make up my mind. All in all, I think that you need to ask yourself, is this the right step for my future? Is this the right step for my goals? If you've made a vision board, look at that vision board, figure out, is this something that aligns with what I want to do? Is this going to help me achieve that better version of myself, that version of myself that I've always envisioned? Because if it is, then you know what decision you need to make. And if you decide not to move out, does that mean that you're going to stay exactly as you are? Are you going to then, like, what are you going to do in order to strive towards your goals? Because if it's not moving out, then it has to be something different. I encourage you to really, really think about it, because I don't want you stuck in this endless cycle of doing the same thing over and over and over again, because the time will pass and all of a sudden you haven't achieved the goals that you want to achieve. You're gonna have to make these tough decisions anyway. So it's better to make them when you're thinking about it now, than to make them later. And it doesn't matter how old you are, it doesn't matter what age you're at. All that matters is what you want to do in the moment and what you think is the right next step for you. There's no blueprint. There's no, oh, you should move out at this age, you should move out at that age. The time is now to make those decisions for yourself and to strive for the future that you want. Got this. I'm here for you, and I'm very excited about this journey. Apartment inspiration, decorating the apartment. I'm so excited, and I hope you'll join me. See you next time.